All right, my bows and bow ties. Okay, so I have a new phone holder thing, so I'm not sure if I like this angle, but we're gonna work with it today and I'll muck around with it later on. So what's up, my bows and bow ties? This is the Black Opinionated woman, also known as the bow. Like, look at this. This is like a situation. I don't like this. Okay, so look, I'm just getting back from some vacay. I was gonna try to run out of town again this weekend, but it looks like I might be in town. I had some friends hit me up too from college, and look at my hair. And I probably should try to sync up with them, but I'm running short of time. Anyway, so yes, I was on vacay. I am afraid to take off my glasses because I definitely am sporting the raccoon eye from all the sun. Yeah, so I'm on the struggle bus today. I do not want to go in because sometimes you need a vacation from a vacation, especially my kids. It can be a lot. I think I have a headache. I don't know if it's this headband trying to contain all my bigness here. I don't know if it's the headband is too small or my head is just too big. I guess probably my head is just too big. So yeah, I just want to say that I am a big fan of taking some R&R whenever I can. I used to try to save all this time, but I realized life is short and the body needs to regenerate. The problem is when I go away with my kids, it's not always relaxing, right? Because they want to go to the beach, they want to get all this stuff. I'm like, anyway, so I had a good time. We just came back from Hilton Head. I always enjoy Hilton Head. My husband wants to go someplace else next year, but I'm like, let's go right back to Hilton Head. Anyways, beautiful area, good times. We rent bikes, all that good stuff. Anyway, so yes, I know Beyonce has put out a new song. So let me just say this. I'm going to let you know right now. The Beehive might as well just be mad at me. I don't care. You can come for me all you want. I don't care. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. First of all, Beyonce is 40, 41, something like that. That's her industry age. My understanding is her real age is closer to mine. Allegedly. But okay, so we're going to go with her industry age of 40. I think she's 40 in her industry age. What's up with this? Why can't this just be normal? This stupid phone number. So, anyway. So, I feel like Beyonce is 40 something years old. She's not old, she's not dead, but she's middle aged, okay? And no, I'm not expecting her to dress like a librarian, but I saw the image of her online on this silvery looking horse, and I was like, what is she doing? She was looking like a hooker, and all it made me think of was, number one, Beyonce, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you too. Because see, we are in the same peer group. And apparently people aren't being honest. It goes back to a conversation I had about Chloe Bailey. Why is it that we just can't rest in our talents? Why do we have to come out and be overly sexualized? Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, she looks good. That's not my point. She's showing everything. All she did was prove what I have been saying. That we can't just come out and rest in our talent. We got to come out here and basically act like hookers. So she's out on, if you go to, just do a search on Beyonce, she's on this horse, and it's silver looking, and she's got TNA out everywhere. And maybe it's just me because I'm getting older, I'm getting more conservative. As beautiful a woman as she is, I was just not that I'm turned on by Beyonce, but I'm turned off. I'm all the way turned off. I don't understand why she has to come out like that. I just feel like it goes back to what I said before. This is a cry for attention. She doesn't know how to not work, right? As far as I don't know. To me, so look, let me tell you something. People are just going to be mad, but I've said what I said, and it's coming right now. Notice how I said what I said. I hadn't even said it yet. I feel like this. I kind of pity Beyonce and her children, especially that one, Blue Ivy, to put her child in the industry so much. So people are going to big that up. These industry kids get so messed up. She can't live a normal life. I just really feel so bad for that little girl. I really do. I feel bad for that little girl. And to be honest, I feel like Beyonce is trapped by her own success. She just can't even just do something normal. She's still trying to compete with these young girls. So now she's out here on a horse with no clothing on, showing everything. And you know there's going to be some delusional people out there like, yes, Beyonce, yes. I'm like, no. This is the reason why our black youth, our black entertainers and talent, I cannot get this phone to just get a slide together, feel like they have to come out and be over-sexualized. Look at who they're modeling after. Beyonce, honestly, if you were to ask me, I really think she has low self-esteem. She does. I've never seen anybody continue to want to behave like this. And so a lot of people think that this is great, which is, I think, a symptom of what's going on in our culture. But yeah, so Beyonce puts out some new music, which I was like, this song is annoying. My husband and I were listening to it on the way back from the airport yesterday with the kids. I mean, I knew it had come out. I barely listened to the song until yesterday, to be honest. So it just wasn't on a list of priorities for me, because that was all about my relaxation, or what little bit I could get. So I'm listening to this song and I was like, this song is so dumb. I don't really care for it. It was like a house beat to it, and I mean, the house beat was okay. It's just, I don't know, it just did nothing for me. What was interesting, while I was on vacation, I was listening to something on YouTube, and someone had read the lyrics to her song, and then it was basically had commented on how she's basically capitalizing off of the sentiment of, like, you don't have to go to work and all this stuff like that. I kind of agree. I just feel like this is a cry for attention. Like, she is in such need of validation all the time. I don't know. I think for me is, I'm sure she gives back to the community that we don't know, but I feel like when you are, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And I feel like with her, she could do so much to publicly stand for things like positive body image and, you know, I don't know, financial health, I don't know, wellness, whatever. But instead, she calls herself getting out here, putting out these crappy songs that people are like, yes, we love it. Like, even like her Africa type music, whatever it was, I just kind of felt like, did she, I don't know, I was just like, I think she missed the mark. I think people who are not engaging in any sort of critical thinking, when she came out with her, what did she say? Man is King. I don't even remember what the album was. What little bit I saw in her, I was like, is this what she thinks about Africa? They're walking around with war paint all the time. I mean, there are some groups that still engage in that, but like the vast majority of Africa is not walking around like they're in, like, chucking spears and carrying on. So now she comes out with this crappy song, and I was just kind of like, you know, people are gonna just, it doesn't matter, they're just gonna be like, yes. I mean, they're not gonna like critically, you know, think about like, hey, is this really a good song? So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. I may do another video on Beyonce, because I just feel like there's something off, and I feel like the whole world is not really seeing it. Like, there's something off about her. I mean, this headband is like giving me a headache. I have on 2 headbands to try to like hold this up, and right now I'm just sitting here thinking like, this headband life is not for me. But yeah, this is the reason why I typically don't even wear headbands. But yeah, like, I just feel like there's something going on with her. Like, I just feel like pity that she feels like she has to come out here with a crappy song. She can't rest in her own talent. Maybe she has to come out here and wear nothing to overshadow something. I don't know. I do think Beyonce is talented, but I'm going to be honest, like, a lot of her lyrics can be really silly. But yeah, so she's out here on a silver horse, TNA out everywhere. And I'm like, this is the reason why our youth think this is what they need to do. Not only that, it's like she's trying to keep up with them. I'm like, you don't have anything to prove. Anyway, let me move on. Last week, my daughter was at a lacrosse camp, and I realized she really is my daughter, because I was one of the chaperones, and let me tell you, my daughter can have a really shady face. You know, there's certain things that I think that are being taught in our home, and the girls were actually really nice. They're really nice young ladies. Some of them have never been told the word no. And I think for my daughter, she was looking sideways like, yo, what's going on over there? You know, but that was definitely interesting, chaperoning 20-something girls for this lacrosse camp. But nevertheless, overall, she had a good time. I think she was a little overwhelmed. There was a lot of activity. I was overwhelmed because I think the way I would tell my daughter no is different than you have to handle other people's children. I will say there was one little girl, I did have to get her all the way together because she was just doing too much. I was like, look, would you do this at home? No, cut it out. I know you know how to behave when you're not at home. So then it just dawned on me, like, you know, I clearly have different expectations for my child. She's not perfect, but she got to the point where she was even almost like crying, like, I just want to go to bed. My poor baby. Anyway, so that was definitely an experience, chaperoning a bunch of girls. Like I said, they were actually all really polite, and they were really kind to each other. Now, I did see some other groups who were not so nice to each other and not so respectful. I just think there are some children who are entitled, and there's some who you can tell they've had home training. Other than that, it was a pretty decent experience. I don't know if I would chaperone again. And she's like, if I go next year, you have to chaperone. And I'm like, I can't make that promise. That's about it. There's always so much more to talk about, but that's enough for now. We're probably about 15 minutes away from the job. So I think I'm just going to enjoy this ride in before I have to get my life together. Because as soon as I get in there, I'm going to be like, oh, that first day back from vacation is always tough. Alright, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do another video later on. I don't know. We'll see how I feel today. Bye, guys. And I'll probably have to upload a different thumbnail. Later.